What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we got a different episode for y'all. So it's another tool episode, but on this tool episode we are going to be talking about the difference between a snap-on socket as versus a craftsman socket or any other sockets out there. And my opinion is going to surprise you with it, because everyone knows that Snap-on is a very well-known brand and it's a great brand. But to me, there are some issues. So let's jump right into it. Alrighty guys, so here we go. Here is a Snap-on socket. Here is a Craftsman socket. I don't think I have a semi-deep in this. Yeah, I don't think I have a semi-deep, but they're both 17 millimeter. And they're both generally the same thing. Now, I like Craftsman sockets, I like Harbor Freight sockets, but mostly I use my Craftsman sockets. Why? Because one, it has thicker walls. But for some reason on this particular Snap-on and Craftsman one, they both have the same size walls, if you can see. Okay, and usually the cheaper brands have thicker walls because the steel is a little bit cheaper, the heat treatment is a little bit cheaper, it's not properly heat treated, so it needs thicker walls so it doesn't collapse or break. The Snap-on one, the heat treatment is a lot better, so they can afford the thinner walls to hold it from breaking. But here is the issue that I have. So I've been using Snap-on sockets before, and they always get like this. Let's see if we can get that to focus for y'all. Where is that? Right there. Come on, focus, focus. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but right there, there's a little crack on this side right here. So every Snap-on socket that I've owned, these types especially, for some reason, they tend to crack, they tend to chip. Now, I don't know if it's a change in the cold weather when I'm using them and they don't hold up the way that I need them to, which is very dangerous because when you're trying to break something loose or use this for an application or tighten something and it breaks in your hand or on your ratchet, your fist can go flying into something and you hurt yourself, you break your fist, you break something, you hurt yourself bad. Now, I'm sure Craftsman sockets, I'm sure every socket cracks and fails and breaks. But I personally have never had an issue with my Craftsman sockets. Now, a lot of the times, I alternate. I use Snap-ons or I use my Craftsman, whatever I have accessible at the moment. Majority of the time though, I'm always using my Craftsman sockets. These sockets that I have here on the Craftsman side has been with me since 2011. Maybe even longer. No, since 2011 these have been with me. So it's been about 10 years since these have been in my possession, and not once have they chipped, cracked, or anything. The only reason why I had to replace one was because I lost it. And if you can guess right, it's a 10 millimeter. Everyone always loses their 10 millimeter. So we're gonna put this back so I don't lose it because I hate losing tools. And as you can see in my drawer setup, right there, I have everything in a specific order. Now, I always like keeping my tools in order because I always like knowing where my tools are. As for the Snap-on sockets, every single one of these, for some reason, crack, and I always find myself having to go back on the tool truck and getting them replaced. So, I don't know if it's just they're not making it as good as they used to before. I never used to have issues with them until off lately, and that's why I'm always turned off from Snap-on. I feel like they're so overpriced for no reason and they don't hold up like they used to. Now, one thing I can say about Snap-on that's really good that I tend to run into is certain bolts and nuts. Using a Craftsman socket, sometimes if it's a rusty bolt, the Craftsman socket would slip and round it off a little bit. If you run into a rusty bolt, the first thing you should do is, if you have Snap-on sockets, they have a better grip for some reason. And I guess it's the way they design it, and it does break them loose. Now, my way around that is, if I have a rusted socket, if I have a rusted bolt, and, you know, let's say for example, it's a 4 mil. Okay, you have a bolt that's 4 mil. Just crap, whatever. And you put this on here, and it's rounded and can't get off. I would use the next alternative, which is a 5 30 seconds. I would not go down to a 3. I don't even know if they make 3, but it's just for reference. I would go to the fractional side, the standard size, which is 5 30 seconds, and it gives you an extra grip. It's a little bit tighter. And what I would do is take a extension, put it on the socket, and tap it down with a hammer to fit snug on that, and then I would break it loose. That's how I get all my rusted bolts and stuff out. Whenever you run into problems, that is the way that I recommend that you do this. You use a fractional socket, a standard size socket. So, you have 10 mil, you use the standard size, and then you use a extension, little hammer, tap it down, make sure it's snug, put your ratchet on, take your time and break it loose. Soak everything in PB Blaster or a penetrant before you try to mess with rusty bolts, and everything will be good. But that's one thing I do have to say about the snap-on ones. They tend to break everything loose that I needed to. But for some reason they keep snapping, they keep cracking, and I don't know why. It's usually the steel, it's usually the chrome-plated ones. I've never had problems with any other sockets from Snap-on. Actually, it's usually the semi-deep ones that I have the issues with. And they just shatter in my hands for some reason. I don't know why. Other than that, get what you guys want. Like I've always said and preached, is go to the store that's most affordable and gives you lifetime warranty. People usually settle for the Snap-ons and stuff because, one, they are good quality stuff. They are super expensive, but they don't have to go out to get them fixed. The truck comes to their workplace and they get it fixed. But like people who are in my situation, who no longer work for someone or doesn't have a truck that comes by, I have to go out my way now to find a truck, or I have to go out my way to see if one of my friends or someone could go return it for me, or I can just contact Snap-on and get it done. The last time I contacted Snap-on to get something done, it was hell, and I still haven't gotten it done, so I ended up giving it to a friend and he got it exchanged for me. And it worked well like that. But usually, like I said, I use my Craftsman, I use my Harbor Freights, and they don't shatter on me. For some reason, I just have better luck with those, and that's why I'm always preaching that you don't need to go out and buy these expensive stuff when you can get basically almost the same thing for half the price and the same warranty. To me, that's just a win-win to me, in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this really quick video. And with that being said, I'm gonna go. But before I said, I got good news. My engine is finally finished, so I'm gonna head over there and pick that up. So very soon, more engine build videos will be coming. And there is a secret thing I'm working on in the mix with the Avalanche, and y'all gonna have to guess what that is. So just throw your guesses in the comment section below. If you want, and maybe eventually soon, one of these days, I will show y'all what it's gonna be. But with that being said, peace out, guys, and I'll see y'all for the next video.